What's going on, guys? JayDYGO, and today we're back with an updated Sprite deck profile. I know, another Sprite deck profile, but this one's a different one. This is the day I went undefeated at locals. I went 5-0, which is super hard. Everyone I played was very skilled, very good, and I'm very proud of myself. Here's a dorky picture of me and my friend Kevin with the one I'm at, so there's that, slight face reveal, whatever. But yeah, so I beat out Sky Strikers with my first match, Branded Tier Elements, Eldritch, Sharks, by the way. Sharks was scary. Sharks is awesome. I actually came 4th that day. And my very last match of the day was Sword Soul. So I'm very happy with myself. I'm definitely happy with the choices I made with the deck. So yeah, let's jump into the deck profile. Before we start the deck profile off today, if you guys haven't already, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. We're already super close to 1,000, and you guys know that once at 1,000, we're going to have an awesome tournament. Gonna have some awesome prizes. And yeah, what are you waiting for? Let's get this video to maybe, I don't know, 10-ish likes? Let's see what we can do. Starting off the deck profile, of course, we're playing 3 Sprite Blue. This is the main monster in the deck, as on Special Summon, he adds you a Sprite monster. Going first, you usually add Sprite Jet. Going second, I actually usually add Pixies. That way I have just extra damage to do if I need to beat over a monster first. Then I'm playing 3 Sprite Jet. This card is really awesome as it adds you a Sprite spell or trap. Right now it's only spells, so you're usually adding starter or smashers, depending on if you're going first or second, and it's hand dependent as well. And then for my last 3 Sprite monsters, I'm playing 1 Red, 1 Pixies, and 1 Carrot. Red, Pixies, and Carrot actually came up pretty much in every single game. Each one did very well against my matches. Red, of course, was really good to get Branded Tier Element, mainly because you didn't want to destroy the monster, just negate the effects. That way they can't go to the graveyard and make fusion monsters. Pixies was really good against any matchup with strong monsters like Sword Soul. Actually saved me a game where Chen Ying walked into Elf, and then on damage calc I sent the Pixies so Elf would survive. And Carrot was really good against anything that had spell or traps, especially Eldritch and Sky Strikers, so Carrot put a lot of work in that day. And yeah, that kind of wraps it up. These cards are all really good in the ratios I play them at, just 1 of each, and I'm very happy the way I played with that. Finishing up the Sprite lineup, I'm playing 3 Sprite Starter. Of course, this is just the E-Tele for you. Really good as you can have an extender, or if you just need to do it on your opponent's turn, just get more resources and have a follow-up play is always really nice. And one of my favorite cards is Sprite Smashers. Really great to out Mystic Mine, any troublesome back row, a monster you can't really hit. This card came up a lot, and I'm just very happy that I decided to play it. I think 1 is enough. I definitely don't want to do 2 or 3. Don't feel like it's very necessary, and I don't know, 1 did more than enough, I think. But yeah, that is the Sprite lineup, guys. Let's move on to the rest of the deck. Moving on, of course, we're still playing 3 Swap Frog. This card is probably going to get hit. Very unfair, so cool. And, you know, who just doesn't like frogs, you know? This card came up and everything, like literally just being able to discard like another diva in hand if I had 2 or anything like that was really nice. And then it's a 1-card starter, guys. 1-card starter. We'll show that in the combo today. And then, of course, I'm still playing 1 Ronin Tonin and the 1 Dupe Frog. I actually side out Dupe Frog because going second, you're not really going to need it. But going first, this actually still came up a lot. I still play Avermax in my extra deck, so having Avermax and Dupe Frog on field really messes people up as they can't attack at all. And then they have to really think about what they want to do. And usually I have Smashers set as well, so if they don't do anything there, I'll just, during the end phase, Dupe Frog will be banished with Smashers, and I'll banish something they have as well. But yeah, that is it for the frogs, of course. We're going to move on here. Next up for my normal summons, I play 3 Deep Sea Diva still. This card is way too good, as normal summoning gets you to the Hulk line and you can just add a hand trap to your hand. Usually if you already have opened Ash, you get Effect Veiler, and then vice versa. You have Effect Veiler, you bounce Ash to hand. And yeah, it was really great against Branded Tier Element because I was able to combo off and then add Ash to hand. That way I could hit the Branded Fusion and just hold the line from there. So the next normal summon I have in the deck was a card I slandered for a little bit. I said I wasn't going to play it till Tier Element got better, but my last minute decision before I left the house, I just threw in the package, and I'm so happy I did. It literally came up in every single game, saved my ass, outgrinded the opponent, and I'm just super happy I decided to play it. This package is just super awesome. I'm playing, yes, the 3 Nimble Beavers, the Angler, and the Foolish Burial. This literally came up in every single game. If I had Angler and Swap Frog in hand, Swap Frog could pitch the Angler, and then I just comboed off from there. If I was able to go Foolish Burial, and they let it go, Angler, they let it go, done, full combo. Literally in round 5 against my friend Kevin, I had Nimble Beaver in hand and Foolish Burial. So I was able to just go Foolish Burial, get everything on the board, and then normal summon Beaver, and just get another Link too. Like seriously, it was the best package in the entire deck, and I'm so sorry I didn't recommend playing it earlier. But yeah, that is one of my favorite things I think I've done all weekend. For the last two normal summons of the deck, slash extenders, or what you want to bring off a Gigantic Sprite, I'm still playing the 1 Cap Shell. This card is really good still. I've been able to dig into any really good hand traps. I can dig into Anti-Spell Fragrance, and it's just so good not to play. Literally, I can outgrind the opponent too. Like, if they did not try to break the board or anything, Elf can bring back Cap Shell. On my turn, I'll just link it off and get another draw, and they just can't keep up with Cap Shell. And for the last one, I played this in the main deck as a joke because I didn't want to lose to Mystic Mine, but I actually played 1 Red Resonator in the main deck, and I actually was able to use both effects, and it's just been so good. So Red Resonator on normal summon can special summon a level 4 or lower monster from your hand, which is really good if you open up multiple Sprite names, or if you somehow open Red Resonator and Cap Shell. It's just, it's a 2-card combo right off the bat. But yeah, so that is it for the main deck. Let's move on to hand traps. For the hand traps, of course, still playing 3 Ash Blossom, no need to explain this card. 3 DD Crow. Crow has been really good recently. I was able to beat out Sky Strikers because I wanted to get rid of their Ray so they couldn't bring it back. Crow is really good to get tier limits too because you can just snipe out their monster because it needs to be used for the fusion summon. And yeah, just anything that's really important graveyard-wise, DD Crow can snipe it out. And there was a game where someone tried to call by my DD Crow, but I opened up 2, so DD Crow just hit it again and then saved the game. I'm choosing Crow right now over Bell because, like I said, it's not once per turn and it's just a lot faster. That way I can dodge called by or anything like that if I really just want to get something out of the graveyard. Then I'm still playing 3 Infinite Impermanents, very good still as you just want to negate their effects on field. Very good against Sword Soul. You'll see in Match Report this Friday where it really didn't come up, but I'm kind of glad I still opened 2. I'm still playing Dark Ruler, but I'm only doing 2 Dark Rulers now. I made a weird choice. I decided to cut it back 1 because I didn't want to really see it going first, but I definitely want to see it enough going second. So I have the 3rd one in the side, which is a very weird choice, I know. But my ratios, I never bricked. This showed up the exact time I wanted to show up. And I don't know, I'm very happy with my choices still. And for the last hand trap, I'm playing 2 Effect Veiler, just another thing to have. And I'm still very happy having this in the deck. Like I said with Halki Fibrax, if I already opened Ash or I open Effect Veiler, I'll just summon the other hand trap, Ash or Effect Veiler, to the field and just bounce in the hand. And yeah, I'm just happy I played both. But yeah, that is it for the hand traps and board breakers. Let's move on to power spells. Moving on to the power spells, I'm still only playing 2 Pot of Prosperity. I feel like this is the perfect ratio for me at least. I feel like I saw it just the right amount of times, and I know it does conflict with Cap Shell, but if I open Prosperity, I'm just not going to use Cap Shell. And if I get into Cap Shell, I just didn't have Prosperity. So it works out for me, and I'm very happy I ran 2. If I feel like I ran a 3rd one, I would just kind of be more dependent on it. I feel like if I just drew it, I drew it, and if I didn't, it's just use Cap Shell instead. I'm still playing 1 Called by the Grave. Called by, so good, just snipe out the monster, and then it's gone for 2 turns. The only thing that does suck, if I want to use it on Ash and I open Ash, then I kind of have to like make the decision, or do I waste it on a different monster? But yeah, Called by, way too good. And a weird choice, I'm only playing 1 Triple Tack in the main deck. I feel like it's just a weird enough ratio that I don't want to see it too many times. If I open up 2, then it's gonna really suck, but opening up 1 was the perfect number for me. I sided the 2nd one, but 1 was really good because I was able to dig more into the deck, and then I was able to see my engine pieces or just snipe a card out of their hand. And for the last cards I'm playing 3 Anti-Spell Fragrance still in the main deck. This card is just way too nutty. Really good because a lot of folks are still playing a lot of spells and it just shuts down a lot of the decks. Really good in this deck because I can dig into it with Prosperity, I can draw into it with Cap Shell or Triple Tack if they Ash or do anything on my turn. And yeah, just shuts everything out. Sky Strikers, of course, was hit by this. Eldritch, surprisingly, was hurt by this. I'm very happy about that. But yeah, very awesome, very spicy main deck still. And if you guys kept count, this is a 48 main deck. Very strange ratio in numbers, I know, but it works, I promise. I never bricked once. Every card in the deck, every single interaction came up, and I'm just super happy the way it played out. But yeah, that is it for the main deck. Let's move on to the extra deck. So moving on to the extra deck, of course, I'm still playing 3 Gigantic Sprite. I feel like 3 Gigantic was a very good call, as a lot of folks were not expecting the 3rd one, and in the grind game, it really saved my ass. A lot of folks also forget that Gigantic can double its attack if you use a Link 2 instead, so that really helped push for damage. And then it's just a lot of folks are doing 3 Elf, which I'm not very a big fan of, as, you know, using your graveyard is great and all, But with DD Crow as rampant as it is, even if you get Elf on field, if they held the Crow, they could just snipe out your target and then just kind of ruin the game there. In the grind game, a lot of folks know that if you Ash something that late in the game, it may ruin your opponent's day. But for the most part, if they Ash something early and I'm able to get into a gigantic Sprite, I'll still be able to combo off or at least get another level 2 and just do extra damage. Literally against my game in Eldritch where he Ashed something early, I said that's fine, and I was able to use my Link 2 and the level 2 made gigantic Sprite and just punch for extra damage, and then they detached from there and got stuff on the field. So it really does come up. And yeah, like I said, if you don't ever make the third one, you can just banish it off Prosperity. So yeah, super awesome, very happy I played it at 3. So next up, we're still playing the 1 Cat Shark. I think it's a very funny, very cute card. Very good to bump up your monsters by double their attack, so you can get Gigantic Sprite with a Link 2 at 64, or totally awesome to 44 and just kind of help push for game there. A lot of folks aren't expecting a monster like that out of nowhere, and it's just, I don't know, it's a really fun thing to do. Speaking of totally awesome, I played 1 Totally Awesome still. Very awesome card. I see this card definitely getting hit, unfortunately, but hey, as of right now, let's abuse it some more. Really great with the Nimble Beaver package as well, and the Deep Sea Diva, of course, where you can just add it back to hand and then either summon another Diva from deck, or Nimble Beaver can grab a Beaver from graveyard as well. So being able to recur and just keep going off in your opponent's turn or the follow-up play is really awesome. And to wrap up the Xyz monsters, I'm still playing the Downward Magician and the Zeus. I have not gone into Zeus just yet. I've never had a game where I feel like Zeus would really save me more than anything else. But for the most part, I'm very happy I run it just in case. Off the Prosperity, I actually banish Gigantic, Downward Magician, and Alamirage out of anything all the time. Very late in the games, I'm not going to need those, and if I know I have the game in the bag, Downward Magician, the 3rd Gigantic, and Alamirage for sure can definitely go. Yeah, so that's it for the Xyz monsters. Let's move on to links. Moving on to the links, like I said, I play the 1 Alamirage, very good because Swap Frog is literally a 1-card combo to get your Totally Awesome and Gigantic on field. No need to explain that anymore. After that, I play 2 Sprite Elf. This card is just so good, very awesome, brings back a level 2 so you can use your Swap Frog, go into Totally Awesome. And the fact that it doesn't let your opponent target the monster it points to is so broken. Very unfair because someone tried to, I think, Widow Anchor the Toad, and I was like, man, if Elf is pointing to it, you can't target. So they misplayed there, kind of ruined up their day, but I'm very happy, and Elf is just such a good card. After that, I'm playing the 1 IP Masquerena, because IP Masquerena and Elf makes Avermax, and man, that card put in work over the weekend. A lot of folks were not expecting Avermax somehow still. In other games, actually, I use IP and just kind of climb with Access Code as well, because IP can do Unicorn, then Unicorn with another monster for Access Code, of course. But yeah, IP I think is very awesome. Of course, if I have enough extenders, I definitely will make the IP line. Next up, I play the 1 Halky Fibrax still, because Halk is so good, just being able to bounce a hand trap back to hand, and then, of course, it's another Access Code line as well, because you can go Halk, Effect Veiler, or Ash if you want to get rid of it, and then Unicorn, discard a card, then climb into Access Code. Very nice. Next up, of course, I'm still playing the Crusadia Avermax. I love this card. This is way too strong. Can't be destroyed by battle when you make it of IP, can't be targeted anyway by your opponent's cards. And yeah, a lot of folks just don't know how to really out it. The only way someone has ever outed it before was with Chinying, just so a non-target banish. But yeah, for the most part, very good card as it's a very strong body. Gets all your opponent's monsters to attack it first, but like I said, I love having this and Dupe Frog on field. That way they just have to pass because they can't really swing into either one. Definitely not going to cut Avermax anytime soon. And wrapping up the extra deck, of course, I'm playing the Nightmare Unicorn and the Access Code Talker. Access Code definitely has put in some work to destroy some cards. You usually have 2 to 3 cards to banish just for Access Code, so you usually have either Halk, Elf, or Unicorn, of course, or sometimes it's just Elf and Unicorn, or IP and Elf, one of those two. But for the most part, Unicorn always comes up as well. Being able to shuffle back a card into the deck is very useful, and of course, Access Code. So, alright guys, well that wraps up the main deck and the extra deck. Let's move on to the combos now. Before we move on to the combo part of the video, if you guys haven't done it already, make sure you guys leave a like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. A lot of you guys watching are not subscribed, so, make sure you guys hit that subscribe button, and let's get us to 1,000 so I can do that tournament. But yeah, we're going to go into a more in-depth part of the combos now. I'm going to go over all the combos that I know. I showed this in the combos and test hand video, but we're going to just make one big video out of this. Before anything, I got to show off this really cool Stay Classy Stardust Dragon Field Center. I love this thing. I think this and the Signer Dragon mat was my good luck charm for sure. I'm a big fan of the 5D0, but just look how clean this Field Center is. Like, Stardust Dragon, and then bam. That looks just so good on camera. But yeah, we're going to leave that there. And let's do the combos. So starting off, we're going to do all the 1-card combos. We're going to do Swap Frog first. So Swap Frog, normal summon, is going to send. We send Ronin Totem, link off Swap Frog, make Alamirage. We're going to use Ronintona's effect to banish the Swap Frog and summon itself. Next, we're going to link to the Alamirage and the Ronintona, make Sprite Elf. Elf's going to target the Ronintona to revive it, and then we're going to overlay the Elf and the Ronintona to make Gigantic Sprite. Gigantic Sprite's going to detach the Ronintona, and then we're going to then special out Swap Frog. Swap Frog is then going to send our last Swap Frog from the deck. Ronitona's going to banish the last Swap Frog, summon itself, and then we make Totally Awesome, which is right there. Yeah, that is the 1-card combo with Swap Frog. Makes it super easy, and yeah, that's literally it. Let's move on to the next one. So the next 1-card starter, we're doing just Sprite Starter. Activate Sprite Starter, summon out Blue. Blue on summon's going to add you Sprite Jet. We're going to then special out Sprite Jet, Jet effect to add you Sprite Smashers. Overlay these two, make your Gigantic Sprite effect to detach, and then we'll special summon out Swap Frog. Swap Frog effect to send out Swap Frog, link these two off, and make Sprite Elf. Sprite Elf to target one of the Swap Frogs and special summon it. Swap Frog on summon will send the Ronintona. Ronintona effect to banish the other Swap Frog in grave, and we'll special summon it out. Overlay these two for Totally Awesome, and then set Smashers. So another super easy 1-card combo right off the bat there. And yeah, that's kind of about it. The deck is super easy to learn, and then we have some very viable like choke points as well. Like if they stop Gigantic Sprite, we kind of don't know what to do unless we have more extenders, or if we opened up like Red or Carrot as well just to kind of stop anything. But that was the second 1-card combo of just Sprite Starter. Gets us an inboard of Elf, Totally Awesome, and Sprite Smashers. You're going to be able to go in the dupe on your opponent's standby, and then Elf can bring back Totally Awesome for another Omni Negate. Yeah, so let's move on to the next combo. So for the next 1-card combo, we have just Foolish Burial. Activate Foolish Burial, send Nimble Angler. Angler effect to special summon out 2 Nimble Beavers from the deck. Go ahead and overlay these two for Gigantic Sprite. And I think you guys know where we're going with this. Detach, summon Swap Frog, send Swap Frog, link these two, make Elf. Elf target Swap Frog to revive. Swap Frog send Ronintonen banish the other Swap Frog, summon itself, overlay, and we have Totally Awesome. So yeah, another 1-card combo, just easily off the bat there, and you end with your normal board of Elf, Totally Awesome, and then you have 4 other cards in hand. This deck is so busted. But yeah, let's move on. Moving right into the 2-card combos, we have the one with Deep Sea Diva and Sprite Blue. This is where we're going to add a hand trap to our hand. We're going to normal summon Deep Sea Diva effect to special summon another copy of Deep Sea Diva, special summon Sprite Blue to add, we'll add Sprite Jet. Go ahead and special Jet, Jet's going to add you Sprite Starter. If you already open another starter, go ahead and add Smashers, so you guys know that. Anyway, we just go ahead and link these two off for Hulk. I'm going to go here, make Hulk. Hulk effect is going to special summon out our Ash Blossom, or of course if you opened Ash, special effect dealer. From here we'll go ahead and overlay Hulk and Blue to make Gigantic. Gigantic effect, detach the Blue, summon out Swap Frog. Swap Frog effect to send Swap Frog. Then Swap Frog's other effect to bounce Ash to hand. We're then going to link these two off, make Sprite Elf. Elf's going to target the Swap Frog. Swap Frog again to send Ronintona this time. Ronintona effect to banish the Swap Frog and summon itself out. Overlay these two for Toad. And then from here, if you have another level 2 extender that you can get out, then definitely do it. From here, I always like using starter, or if I open the other monsters, I can just go ahead and do it. Special summon out Carrot. And then we'll link these two off, and we'll go for IP. So with just 2 cards, you end with a board of Sprite Elf, IP Masquerena, and Totally Awesome. So on your opponent's turn, in standby, you can get out Dupe Frog if you'd like, and then you can Omni Negate something. Elf can bring back the Totally Awesome if they have a monster on the field, and then IP Masquerena and Elf can make Abramax. And yeah, that's just that, and then you also have a hand trap, so it's even better. But yeah, let's move on to the next one. So for the last one I'm going to show you guys, it's not technically a card combo, but it's what happens when you open Red Resonator and Cap Shell. That's actually very awesome, so that way you can get a free draw, and most likely people aren't going to hit the Red Resonator because they're going to just know you're going to special something else. So with just 3 cards, you could also have Starter, you could have Blue, Jet, just any of the other Sprite monsters that keep comboing off with. But yeah, we'll go ahead and normal Red Resonator, Resonator effect to special the Cap Shell from hand. We can go ahead and overlay these two, and we can make Gigantic Sprite effect to detach, and then we're going to summon out Swap Frog. So yeah, we keep our normal stuff here. So from here, it's pretty much the normal line of play, but now you have anti-spell fragrance to really back it up as well. So Swap Frog, Chainlink 1, Capshell, Chainlink 2. We'll get a random draw here. Let me cut. And we drew Dupe Frog. Sure, that's not the greatest thing we want, but it works out. And then we're going to send Swap Frog off of Swap Frog. There is that. And yeah, I think you guys can see where this is going. I'm just going to go back into Sprite Elf. Elf, target the Swap Frog. Swap Frog will then send Ronin Totem. And then Ronin Totem effect to then banish the Swap Frog and bring itself back onto the field. Make totally awesome. And then of course we're going to set the anti-spell. So yeah, very simple board right there, and you're going to be wondering, well, that's not very impressive. What's different besides this anti-spell? Well, you now have an Omni Negate to back up the anti-spell. So it goes draw phase, you're going to flip up anti-spell. Let's say they open and out. Let's Cosmic Cyclone, right? Cosmic Cyclone, target the anti-spell. They're going to completely forget that you have an Omni Negate just to negate that. So you'll negate totally awesome, and the only way if they also had Called By, but I don't think they'll really have Called By, very slim chances. But then you get to set the Cosmic Cyclone on your side, and then after that you're going to be able to use it on your turn. So unless they want to do that, then play, then Totally Awesome just gets brought back by Elf. And then yeah, this just kind of shuts it off immediately. Anti-spell in this deck works out a lot because you have very fast access to an Omni Negate, and then you also have main deck spell and monster negates as well with Sprite Carrot and Sprite Red. So yeah, this just works out really well. A lot of folks just don't see that synergy. Of course, you're just running this to run this, but when it comes up, it's just insane. And for the most part, like I said in my early of hearts, Capshell drew into anti-spell an insane amount when I played, so I'm very happy I played it. And if I didn't get to Capshell, like I said, Prosperity also dug into anti-spell. Well, that's going to be it for today's video. I hope you guys really enjoyed today's deck profile and combo video. Undefeated Sprite, this thing is just so insane. 48 cards, never bricked once. Give it a shot, let me know what you guys do with it and see how it really goes. And yeah, I'll catch you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching.